So, in addition to reading this book, of course, what are people to do? What 2 or 3 simple things can people do when they're shopping for supplements, when they're considering supplementation?
Well, number one, if somebody has the economic ability and a nutritionist or a doctor or a biochemist who has a brain, now that's hard to find, that live in your general locale, try to get a legitimate nutritional test like a SpectraCell test. That's the only one I've ever used in 4 decades because it's the only legitimate nutritional test available. That's one where they take the white blood cell out of the body, send it to a lab, cut it open and see what nutrition has been digested by the body. I don't care what you take, I care what's been digested and utilized by the body. And then once they do that, you'll know what you're missing. So if you cannot afford that, that's several $100s generally, then you have to guess a little bit or try to get advice from somebody who may have a little bit of experience with proper whole food nutrition, living food, vegan nutrition, and they may be helpful at some particular level to you. Now with that said, I think it's also important for you to then, your next step, go out to your local proper whole food store. You're not going to find it at a chemical supplement store, but at a whole food store. And you go to the minimum wage employee who probably doesn't know a whole lot more than you, and you say to that person in a very polite and loving way that you want to see which whole food supplements that they have. Now, you're going to find a few of them don't even know what you're talking about, and we'll show you something called natural on the side, which I gave you the stats on that about 21 minutes ago. But what you really need to understand is you need to look at them in the eye and say, no, the whole food varieties. And worldwide, there are always a small amount of whole food varieties. They're the ones, if you're going to spend time and money and effort, you need to take. And yes, the average person needs to take whole food nutrients. Now remember, one that everyone should take is B12. And I don't care if you eat meat or dairy food, you all need B12 because we're not uptaking it and utilizing it. It doesn't analog into the body. And again, 97% of all B12 in the market is a chemical that does not digest. My latest study, my study I did in November of 2008 showed 38 people taking injections at least 2 times a month, but the majority, I think it was 63% of them, were taking it literally once a week. Out of them, 2 of them had been digesting or utilizing B12 from some food they're eating. But the rest of them, all of them were lacking B12, although they were taking at least twice a month, most 4 times a month, B12 injections. So there's an example. You need to find a whole food variety of B12. We create one, the Life Give product, but there are other ones on the market. Vitamin Code is one in the United States, Canada, and some of Europe you can get. That's a whole food variety of it. Number 3 thing I think that you need to do is, most important, eat properly. Eat an organic, whole food, in great part, if not in total, raw food diet. And much of the nutritional terror that we just spoke about and worry that we spoke about would be minimized at best. And again, even those of us who have eaten this way forever and eat the purest and the best food on the planet Earth and consistently do it, at times because of the amount of effort and work and all the things that we deal with today versus people 4 and 5 generations ago, we need more nutrition. So on top of eating properly, which fulfills almost all the needs you have, you may need some whole food supplementation, and it's likely you need whole food supplementation, even more than the B12 I mentioned to you.